Hi, you have eyes and a brain. Pretty cool, right? You can watch stuff and get mad at it, or laugh at it, or both. And maybe you're sitting there thinking, what about that show with that weird grandpa and the kid who looks like he's seen too much? Yeah, that one. So this old dude named Rick, he's like the worst scientist, but also the smartest, and he just does whatever the heck he wants. Makes portals, travels to another dimension, probably ruins the space-time continuum like 3 times a week. Then there's Morty, his grandson, who basically is a walking panic attack. He didn't ask for any of this, but here he is, caught up in an intergalactic mess and family drama. And of course, there's a lot of fart jokes. Because why not, right? Just go back to 2013, right? Just 12 years back. Oof, how time flies. Yeah, so Adult Swim, the home of stoner dreams and sleep-deprived nightmares. Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon decide the world needed a show about a grandpa who's basically Doc Brown if Doc Brown drank bleach for breakfast, and Morty, the ultimate ball of anxiety, stuffed into a human boy. The first episode dropped and everyone was hooked like oxygen. Straight up heat. You could tell right away it was about to be the next big thing. Like Rick just moved into his daughter's house. He busts into Morty's room at 2 a.m., wasted, mumbling about big bangs and blowing up humanity. Definitely unusual grandpa stuff. Morty panics. They go on an adventure. Morty smuggles alien seeds inside himself. You know how. Welcome to the show, nerds. But in all fairness, you gotta have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. At least all the way. It's pure genius. And yet dumb. So dumb. Perfect balance. Season 1, never-before-seen greatness. Rick is a god-tier scientist who's also somehow the universe's biggest piece of trash. Morty, poor kid, just wants to survive puberty and not get eaten by alien jellyfish. The family, train wreck city. Beth, Rick's daughter, is a horse doctor with unprocessed daddy issues. Jerry, her husband, is basically a sad houseplant. And Morty's sister, Summer, chases attention and occasionally survives interdimensional disaster. So that's the usual squad. Then we get Mr. Mystiques. We even get an entire episode about how theme parks inside homeless people go horribly wrong. Each adventure had more plot and detailed twist than one could dream. Yet they did it. One moment you're laughing at a giant robot dog, next minute you're staring at a Cronenberg world thinking, oh God, oh no. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing? This is your sign to hit that button and comment on your most mind-blowing moment. By season 2, it leveled up. Total Recall. Did just make you laugh. It rewired your brain. Fake memories, fake friends, no clue who's real, pure madness, absolute fun. Get Swifty. Made people believe that singing nonsense to the sky could actually save humanity. And for a second, you believed it too. Rick wasn't just a drunk genius anymore, he was a black hole in a lab coat. Brilliant, broken, dragging Morty through nightmare dimensions like it was a part of growing up. And it was hilarious. Beth and Jerry's marriage, a slow-motion car crash you couldn't look away from. 2 people locked in a loveless headlock, pretending it was fine while aliens invaded the backyard. Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, nerd kings, Reddit gods. The show wasn't just a hit, it was a full-scale mind invasion. Memes everywhere, forums exploding, every episode felt like a national holiday for people who laughed to keep from crying. It felt like nothing could touch it. Then season 3, God tier. The past was just past now. The Szechuan sauce episode, straight-up cultural event. McDonald's literally had to dig up ancient sauce from a vault because man-children demanded it. Pickle Rick, overhyped? Sure, but also, a rat-murdering pickle taught you more about trauma than your therapist ever did. The Ricklantis mix-up, straight-up soul-crushing. It wasn't just another wacky portal trip. It was the dark side of the show, ripped wide open. Evil Morty wasn't a joke, he was a warning. A kid who got tired of being collateral damage. A kid who looked at the system and said, screw this. The reveal hit harder than anything before. That slow, brutal build-up. The broken dreams. the fake elections, the quiet rage under every scene. And when evil Morty made his move, chills. Pure, awful, perfect chills. You didn't just watch it, you felt it. It made you realize this show was never about the adventures. It was about the cast. Even minor characters became icons. Bird Person, Squanchy, hell, even Mr. Poopy Butthole, who started as a joke, became a gut punch each time he spoke. Then something happened. Season 4. Ugh. It wasn't bad, but it was new. Felt like Rick and Morty just started, spinning the same wheel. More self-referential jokes, more look how smart we are, with none of the heart that punched you in the gut before. It started feeling less like mad genius and more like dudes who realized they're trapped in their own success. Yes, no one was blind to disagree. The vat of acid episode was a banger. Rick fakes his death with a vat of acid. Morty mocks him. Rick builds a save point device. Morty abuses it, finds love, loses everything. Turns out every save broke reality. Only fix, jump into acid. Love lost, pain everywhere. Rick smiles, brutal genius. Claw and Hoarder episode. Look man, you just sometimes gotta admit you watch Rick getting freaky with a dragon and just question your life choices. Also around this time, drama behind the scenes. Justin Roiland gets busy. Dan Harmon, always one emotional disaster away from blowing everything up. Fans waited, memes kept the fires burning, but the spark, harder to find. 5-minute waits between seasons turned into 5 years. Okay, maybe not 5, but it felt like it. Meanwhile, Adult Swim handed them a 70-episode renewal. 70 episodes! It was like your favorite punk band signing a lifetime contract with Walmart. By season 5, the cracks showed. Morty dated a spaceship. Rick fought a turkey. The president kept showing up like that one uncle who wouldn't leave Thanksgiving. Evil Morty came back, and okay, Evil Morty still slapped. No notes. But the rest, it was like Rick and Morty became Rick or Morty. Rick was still Rick, but less tragic and more, this dude again. Morty grew up, but not enough to actually matter. Summer became cooler, but also weirdly underused. Beth and Space Beth. That plot thread dangled awkwardly. And then 2023. Boom. Roiland scandal. Messy stuff. Accusations flying. Roiland's out. Voice gets recast. Internet explodes. Is this the end? Nah. Adult Swim, like, we're keeping this corpse running, baby. Season 7 shows up. New voices? Not bad, honestly. If you're paying attention to Rick's voice that hard, maybe you weren't watching the show right away. But the magic kind of faded. Plots stopped blending together. Jerry's whole loser thing? Old. Morty dating weird girls? Old. Rick having sad boy moments? Old. Even the multiverse, which used to feel so wild, now feels like spin the wheel and see what happens. It's not bad, it's just there. Existing. Going through the motions. Still some banger. How Pippi got his poop back. Low-key sweet. A few emotional gut punches. A handful of clever setups, but also episodes about body-switching garbage or spaghetti dimensions. It's like they're daring you to care. The genius is still there, but it's like finding diamonds in a pile of wet socks now. And then the euthanasia episode hit. You remember they pulled that slow, cruel film, the guy's whole life flashing by, scored by that brutal song, and then Rick drops it. You're not the death, it's the complexity of life. That line doesn't just stick, it burns into you. You're sitting there, half drunk on Mountain Dew, staring at the void inside yourself, wondering how a cartoon destroyed you in just 22 minutes. And remember that this was the show that once made you cry about a singing parasite pretending to be your childhood best friend. Now it's Rick fights a unicorn for 22 minutes. Cool. Still, don't even get started on the spin-offs. Vindicators? Okay, fine, entertaining, but do we really need an entire episode where Noob does taxes? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Hard to say when you're emotionally numb. You can tell everyone's just tired. Even Rick looks tired. More episodes are coming, obviously. Adult Swim needs its cash cow, licensing, merch, video games, and you'll probably keep watching, because nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Because maybe, just maybe, they'll hit that old spark again, like that final arc of Season 7's finale. Maybe, spoilers ahead, still, it's just Rick and Morty hitting the Carnival of Nightmares. It sucks. So they follow some mutant in a trench coat who suggests the real nightmare. He drags them to a Denny's. Then the fear hole in the bathroom. Hold on, what hole now? Nah, it's just a creepy busted hole on the floor that torture loops your worst fear. Oh right, that's worse. Well, Morty faceplants into it immediately. Rick sighs and jumps too. Like, sure, why not? Rick watches his fake dead family crap. Morty relives being a worthless nobody. They scream into infinity until Morty figures it out. His real fear is Rick never getting a shit. And he accepts it. The hole vomits them out. They lie there, smelling like piss, too broken for pancakes. Classic. And again, they got us hooked, somehow. Maybe it's all the interdimensional survival stuff, or maybe the sciencey philosophy juice. Still, this brainy grandpa and his young partner have had an arc, and we think we somehow pieced it all together. For now at least. Wobble-looba-dub-dub. And honestly, that's all we ever wanted anyway. So, do you think Rick and Morty's mind-bending adventures actually outshine the most epic stories ever told? Drop your fiery takes in the comments, like and share if you dare, and if you're ready for some real power struggles, check out our last video. Don't forget to subscribe for more wild content.